it's Susan here and welcome to In the Craft Room. Today we're going to be finishing off Peter Rabbit Dryfeltneedling dolly. This is his back, this is his front, and last time in part 1 we made his head. Let's go and do it. In the last episode, part 1, we started making the Peter Rabbit Dryfelting figure. When I started making the Dryfelting figure, I wanted to make a three-dimensional felting piece, but he looks a bit thin and it was a lot trickier than I thought. So I'm going to introduce this little figure which I've made to the Peter Rabbit figure. So I guess he'll turn out to be a bit of a doll. So where did I get this figure from? Well, in my art practice, I make art dolls. They're known as girly art dolls. Take a look. So as you can see in the clip snippet, there's a variety of types of doll. There's the Edition 1 doll, which is made out of calico and she's got a wider painting surface. There's the smaller, thinner doll and she's made out of muslin. And then we've got the large doll with the same design and she's also made out of muslin. After I sew the dolls together, I then draw in their features and details and then paint their colours. When making these dolls, or when I started to make these dolls, I experimented with different fabrics and different styles. We've got the long floppy limbs, we've got the short stubby limbs, and these seemed to work for me, but this was one of my experiments. And I've just got him hanging around and I'm going to use him for Peter Rabbit today. So the first step we're going to do is to make the body. To make the body, I've got some scraps here of commercially made felt and I'm going to cut them out in his bulbous body shape. I'm also going to cut out his jacket, buttons, and today I'm going to felt the details onto his body. So we've got his dry felted head, we've got his calico body. I've cut out 2 bulbous rabbit body shapes for Peter Rabbit. I've also got his jacket pieces, his buttons, and also his sleeves for his jacket. We've got a little bunny tail, his feet, and paws. I've got some excess felt here so that I can put it on the back of him for his jacket. So with these 2 body pieces, the front and the back, we're going to stitch around the body with the figure sandwiched in between. As I stitch, I'm going to stuff some hobby fill into his belly to make him more bulbous. So this is Peter Rabbit's body. The commercially made felt has been sewn onto this calico figure. We're now going to dry felt the fur onto his body. I've got my reference sheet here so I can get his exact colours. body happening there with all his fur, I'm going to now attach his head. I'm going to attach it with Dryfelting. I'm going to use this wad of wool tops at the back of his head so that I can attach the top, and he's not top heavy, onto his neck. But remember, watch those fingers. So as you can see, this wad of wool tops has stabilised his head. So he's got his body, we've got his head, he's got his fur. Now for some clothes. So I've got two parts of his jacket, the left and the right. I'm going to dry felt needle his jacket onto his body. And now for his buttons. I've got some commercially made felt, which I'm going to now felt onto there using some yellow wool tops. So we've got our head, body, jacket. Now for the little paws and feet. Time for a trim. And he wouldn't be a bunny without a tail. So his tail is on. It's now for fixing up those little details. So here we have the finished Peter Rabbit. The front of him is dry felted, and so is the back with his little tail as well. I enjoyed making Peter Rabbit. It was a very different process using very different materials from what I'm used to doing with the painting and the drawing. I think he looks quite sweet. He's got a very handmade, delicate character to him, and he'd look quite nice sitting on a bed with the Peter Rabbit Patchwork Quilt. Thanks for joining me in the craft room for Siouxsan's Make and Create. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next when we make our next character square. See you next time. Bye!